All right, we're going for a hike today through the mountains of Barcelona. Not sure what this place is called, but here we are. Seems like a fun time. Here's the mountain. I don't know if it's really a mountain, but it's uphill. How do you like really show someone, what your deal is? A day in the life of you. You cut together these little videos that you stage. It's not really true, They're all pretty falsified. How do you just be fly on the wall like a frickin' Truman Show? But the person's aware of it, How do you be, because you think it would be boring, right? If I just what I like to do on hikes is this. Grab a little stick. I like to poke things. I like to touch things, A bad example, but, I don't know if it's a bad example. I like to stack rocks on each other. You just you're like a freaking primate, Just this is the most soothing thing I've ever come across. But I've never seen anyone be here's a how-to video. It's not useful information, I don't think. But it's the curiosity that I think is the most fun for me. It's just playing with nature. You can't really do this in a city. That's what's weird. I can't just sit down and start playing with garbage. I don't know. I mean, my big thing in cities is I like to touching trees as I walk by them. So that's as much nature time as I'm getting. Or if there's a patch of grass, I'm always taking my shoes off, walking that grass. There's no grass out here though. That's what's weird. Seems like a pretty man-made invention, this whole grass thing. Or at least the way that we know it. I got a few more days here up in this nature. And then going to Brazil, which is crazy. I never really had Brazil on the mind. Never thought I'd go there. But that's what is so cool about, this big journey I'm on, is that I've always gone to places that I never intended to. I didn't really think about most of the places I go. I never thought about going to Spain. I don't know why, but I freaking love Spain. Yeah, me encanta España. It's been the same for traveling to the Balkans, Funny enough, Albania was on my list of places to go. And Georgia. I never made it to Georgia. I made it to Albania, which I thought was cool, but it definitely wasn't my favorite place that I've gone. But for Americans, we can be there for 1 year. So that's why it was sort of in my brain to be oh, hey, I could live in a cheap place for a year. And maybe I'll go back and give it another try. Because I think part of it was just where my head was at, during that voyage. It was sort of end of December. I did all of December and the beginning of January there. I think December 12th through the 6th of January. And for the majority of it, I just rented out a little place. I mean, honestly, €300 for a one-bedroom apartment close to the beach. It's a pretty good deal. But I was just isolating and just, was sort of in a hibernation sort of zone. I think after traveling for so long and not having my own place, well, no, it's not true, because I did have my own place for 3 months here in Barcelona, which was crazy. So I'm going to Brazil. Long story short, new adventures, a new continent, I went to Morocco. That wasn't on the plan either, you know. But you always make the next logical move. So if I was in Spain and I looked for, doing this ayahuasca retreat that took me to Portugal, which was a lot of fun. And then my visa was expiring. So I was like, well, where do I go? And Morocco was just right there, so that was the next logical move. My visa's running up again here in Europe. So I thought, well, I met some really cool Brazilians. Maybe I'll go check out Brazil. And that's how it all happens. It's pretty wild. Just like this nature. Oh, hello. Wow. Look how beautiful this nature is. We're gonna go on this walk together. And there's no one else out here. I went into the city yesterday. It's like such a contrast. So busy. And normally I really like it. I like that energy. But yeah, I definitely, when I get this, I'm like, whoa, this is incredible, And it's just so different, It's nature. What is all this stuff? How is this all working, And it's really funny, I think, when weird. This isn't where I wanted to go. Let's go back. It's really funny when you see humans trying to recreate this all the time. I was just walking around. I was like, whoa. There's all this like artwork that's all nature. I was like, speaking of, that's artwork right here. That's really cool. This is just existing. This is like an alien planet. Alien planet. I wish you guys had name tags on you. That's like the future right there. To just be like, know your name, know your benefits. You just come with like a list of ingredients or health benefits, like a cereal box. And then look at you. What the heck? And there's zero work. We're not toiling to like create this. Nature just naturally does its thing. Can you believe that? Can I eat you? Is this like a salad right here? Okay. Traveled, since last time I updated something, a lot of people were like confused because I posted some old videos. It's like 1 and 2 were like kind of current. And then 3 and 4 were like before I left on this journey, this trip. So this is the most current, coming at you. What's the date? April. It's April 9th. April 9th, because I fly out April 12th. All right, so what I'm up to, because the last one I think I was in Florence, Italy. Okay. So after Florence, I went up to Venice. I tell you, the boats there are incredible. I filmed some boat stuff. Can you see this? This thing's like floating. Even nature does magic. I was there for 3 or 4 days, which I think is, was a short time for me, because I was in Florence for 2 weeks. Or just about. I usually like to travel longer. But since Venice, I thought, the way I planned it with like my flight to Berlin, I didn't give myself a lot of time just because I thought I wasn't going to like it, honestly. I thought it was going to be super touristy, which, it 100% was. But it was still probably like one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to. So it's definitely worth checking out, I'd say. Getting around by those boats. I didn't do a gondola, but they have these water taxis. So how it happened was the hostel I was staying at was on an island. It was not connected to like the main island of Venice. So in order for me to actually get off of my island and go see proper Venice, I was required, I needed to take water taxis, which they were expensive, but also they never check. So sometimes I did not pay. Sorry, Italy. But you buy like a 3-day pass or something. I can't remember how much it was, but it's a little on the pricey side. Here, check this out. Ooh, look at how beautiful this is. Have you seen this? Wow. Took a flight to Berlin to meet my buddy Mason. Had a grand old time together. Hadn't seen him in about a year, not since I left Seattle. Ooh, buddy. Berlin was really cold, but had a great time there. We took a train or a bus. Yeah, we took a bus to Prague, then went down to Slovakia, which I'd never been to before. It's kind of interesting. Checked out the capital, and then did a rural place, you know, where we saw some castles, which turned out to be outposts, according to the locals. Back to Berlin. A few nights there, said our goodbyes, and then I've told this story a few times, but I booked this flight to London, and it left at 7 a.m. And the night before, I was like, okay, I just know I need to get up at 5. Get up at 5. Because normally it's like you want 2 hours, right? I don't usually go for that rule, you know? I'm usually maybe like an hour. Get there an hour before. It depends, you know? 2 hours seems excessive. Usually sitting around for a while. But I understand people thinking, better be safe than sorry. But I looked it up. It was gonna be a half an hour on the train to get there. So I was like, oh, no biggie. Woke up at 5, thinking I had plenty of time for some reason. So it took me an hour to get ready. So I left the hostel at 6. And so now I have an hour to get there. An hour until my plane leaves. The entire time, I'm sort of stressed out, but I'm still like, I know that I will be on this flight, so I'm gonna be okay, you know? Security was pretty long. I couldn't find out how to print my ticket for a while. Anyway, it all worked out. I mean, I had 5 minutes to spare before my flight left. So I got on the flight. Hooray! Holy moly, check this out. Look at this composition. Look at the colors. You got green, white, blue. That blue is so blue with that white, and the green pops. And you got sort of the browns. Where would you be without the browns, you know? They're the unsung heroes of the color world. Gotta get your neutrals in there. Should I be filming like this? How have I been doing this? YouTube will never forgive me for this. I don't know. I need a better setup. I'll just keep filming vertically, I guess. See, we're on a little nature walk. Isn't this crazy? Who does these? They're all cut down or something. I mean, I've seen people do like walks through Italy, but then no one's talking. It's hard to find the right balance of what to make sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because this is definitely a rambly man talking about travels and life, walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what he said to himself. It's pretty cool. London, I was there for less than a week. Hung out with some old chums, some old chaps. Shot some more of those Right With Me videos. So now let me talk about this for a minute, you know? Are you listening? Listen to me. Let me ask this to the world. I was talking with my friend Brendan co-creator of Weird Cereal. And he's probably the one person who watches these videos, the Write With Me's, like, for actually writing with, you know? So I asked him, what would make the experience better for you, you know? And he talked about doing like different times, longer times, more than 10 minutes, and not needing necessarily like a complete short story, to like have different ones, like, all right, today we're just gonna write like 3 pages, you know? Or today we're gonna write like a chapter. That's a chainsaw. Someone's freaking chopping down the wilderness. Do what you gotta do, brother.
He was my friend. I known him from nut and acorn.
All right, calm down, Treebeard. Write with me. Oh, yeah. And then he was like, I watched the actual reading and the video, because I write a story and then read it and like animate the story. That's like a bonus for him. And because in my mind, I think there's like 2 kinds of people. The kind of people that are watching it for just the story, you know, skipping over the writing section. And then the people like Brendan that are using it to write with as a body double. You know, body doubling? I think this is where it comes, this is where like the uniqueness of the Write With Me's are. Because you see the Study With Me's and all these things, and they're not interactive. This is why I think it's unique. Because it's like doing yoga with Adrienne, and she talks to you, and then like you do the whole set with her, you know. Whereas this is like it's like a Bob Ross painting, where we're writing a story together, and then the whole point is like for us to like be okay with being imperfect, you know, being hold on. How's this? Being okay with ourselves. Oh, I'm all tangled up here. I don't know how this is looking. So, who is this for? You know, the body doubling. You can, if you want to write, but you find it hard to do it alone. And this goes back to a Weird Cereal sketch that I made. And there must be something to this, which is weird because I've never been good with like a writing partner. Like when you sit with someone, you're like, okay, let's come up with something, let's write something. Because I always think it's like a pretty solo endeavor, you know? So like you're writing your own thing here, but at the same time, I'm still there writing my thing, you know? So the body doubling is like to help us. And the sketch was sort of about this too. It was called Writing Buddy. And it was a blow up doll, basically, that would just sit there and you know. This was more like you would ask it ideas, like, what do you think of this, Writing Buddy? And all it said was, I love it. I love it. And then we had a therapist version of it too at the end. I'm telling you, these sketches were just like so ahead of their time, I guess. That might be a lot to be calling ourselves geniuses here. But they still make me laugh so hard, you know, so good. Anyway, these Write With Me's are like a pet project. Like, I don't know. I think they're really good. They're really important. I still want to finish the Wodeways though, you know. I learned a lot from doing those. But the problem is myself and technology. I would get so angry with technology being so slow, and it's a whole other world now from when I was creating Wodeway for the first time. In terms of like what's available AI-wise. So with one of the new Write With Me's, I created the backgrounds using AI, and the puppets Well, the mom and the son, Frederick, you know, I created with Illustrator. Illustrator has like an AI generative thing. You hearing these dogs? Me too. Ruff, ruff. Rough, rough. And then took them into character animator because you have to like, you know, rig your puppet. So I rigged it. Look at this. Look how beautiful it is. Seeing all this? So it's really cool you can do that, you know? Saves a lot of time. You know, it's like I'm learning while I'm doing it. I'd like to master that, like, I don't know, I'm just like sort of leveling up all the time, it feels like. I want to be able to do like one, I think that's the goal. Just like I wanted to do one of those weird serial sketches one a week, you know? And I want to do it so I don't get like burnt out, you know? I'd like to work like 2 to 4 hours a day, maybe. There's all kinds of new stuff that I'm learning too. You know, I've been playing around with Absinthe more, just like a synthesizer for converting, you know, your videos into like animations based off of a style reference. And now with Adobe Firefly's like structure reference, you can actually take, you know, one of your video frames and it will be exactly, you know, if I'm framed like this, it'll be exactly that with the new style change, which is perfect for Absinthe because it needs to be the exact frame to look like it, right? So now you can go in and change all of your frames based off of this one style frame, which is crazy, you know? And this has kind of existed, you know, out there with like stable diffusion and whatnot. But it's not really been something accessible to someone like me, I would say, who isn't as like codey, you know, like I'm not into the code stuff. Like a lot of that math and I don't know. It's just like it's more accessible for me to like the interface and the know-hows of these other programs have made it easier for a man like me. Who, it's funny, other people see what I'm doing and they go like, whoa, you must have crazy technical skills. And I think, I wouldn't say that. Check this out. Chainsaws are still going. You know, I was talking with my buddy Andre, who his like next master plan is to like integrate like time better into like video games. So like if you have a picture frame hanging on the wall, that over time like you take that picture off the wall and you see like the dust, you know, and whatnot, like the behind it, and like how like the sun would, you know, interact with something like over time, you know, like degrade something. Or I'm like, damn, like that's a whole other world for me. I don't understand that at all, but it's cool. See that? Check it. There's a monastery or something around here. Maybe, I think that's a school. Maybe that's a church too. But there's one that's like way up in the mountains here. I think you'll see it in a few minutes, a few seconds. Oh yeah, I can already see it up there. What am I saying? We've gone from Brazil to talking about design. What's the next topic? Here it is. Let me show you. See that? Oh, mama. It's windy. Everyone knows it's windy. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see what the sign says. Can you read it? Less planes. There's less planes that way. And there's, I think it's in Catalan. Yeah. Pretty sure it's Catalan. We'll say it's Catalan. It's like I'm seeing everything in 3D. Everything is in 3D. Let's see how far we get. I don't know. That church looks pretty far away. You can't even really see it on here, can you? What's next? What? I don't know. What does anyone want to talk about? What is there to talk about? Every day it's like the same but different. You're always living, you're breathing. Talk about breath for a second. Good stuff. Okay. You heard about breath work? So that's what meditation is too. I mean, there's conscious breath, conscious breathing, and sort of unconscious breathing. Those are your two options. But what's crazy is that you can, keep on breathing. Your body's going to do that, and stay alive, and that's good for you. You don't have to think about it, But when you do, put awareness to your breath. And this isn't conscious breathing, but this is like observing your breath. You know about this? Try this, just like kind of sit down. This is good after you work out. So drain your body of whatever. Like, exhaust your body basically. So you don't feel like, everyone who's like sitting down to meditate, they're always complaining that they're moving around too much. They can't they're fidgety, can't sit still. That's because you need to work out first. So do like an hour long something, whatever you want, yoga or run, or so you're just like tired. You don't want to move. So now you're in a prime place to meditate. And as a bonus, before you do this, you could do conscious breathing, so the breath work. So this is when you just get really kind of like focused, and just try it, you'll see what I'm saying. But then, after you're doing the conscious breath, you're sitting and you're not doing anything except observing your breath. So you're just like, okay. You're not trying to not breathe. You're not trying to breathe. You're not, the whole point is not trying, But you have to breathe in at some point, and you have to breathe out at some point. So you're going to observe it. You're going to just noticing, and then you'll have a thought come up, and then you're not going to do anything except observe the thought, and maybe say, thank you, thought. I'm glad you had, just welcome it, don't push it away. Welcome that thought, no matter how weird it is. But you don't need to entertain it either, It's gonna just go away. It's like the stream of water, and there's leaves, The thought is like a leaf, and it's gonna be going down the stream, But sometimes they get stuck on rocks and things, and your thoughts last a little longer. So just be aware of that. And then you're gonna have feelings and sensations in your body, And then your legs are gonna be I feel something down here, I want to move. And then you'll just acknowledge and be like, I'm feeling that. Cool. I see you. I feel you. And you give attention and awareness to it. You don't try and put your focus somewhere else, because what's that about, And you can do a body scan, and so you do a head to toe kind of thing, and just give awareness to every little part of your body. It's really cool, I recommend it. And what's the point of all this? There's never any real point. It's just just try it. Is there any point to, I don't know, making love with a beautiful woman? It's just nice to do, Eating like a good meal. How long have you gone without eating a meal? I already talked about fasting in the last episode, though, I think. Or one of them. Maybe the first episode. Are we still recording? Well, it's been like a half hour or more. How much more of this do you want? You want more juicy content of me talking? Let's look at the forest again. Here's my shadow. Hello.
Hi. Hello there.
Life is a video game. Check this out. I don't know. If I had like a sword. Or is this like a, how do you do this like 3-step? Alright, clearly just messing around. There's no one else here. I guess it is like Tuesday. I guess people have jobs and have to work. That's something crazy about this world. Working jobs. I guess we all need to make that money. Make a damn money. Make a damn money. Check this out. I don't know what this is. Someone tell me what this is. Because this is everywhere. This rock or mineral or I don't even know what things are called. But it comes from like these big things, you know? But they're all like pretty delicate, I'd say. Pretty like, I'm really curious though. But they get really like smooth. What am I trying to say? Look at this. Can some like geologist, rock expert tell me what these are? Is this clay? I mean, this is what this mountain's made out of. This is clay, right? Tell me I'm wrong. What is all this? That's what I go with playing around in nature, you know? Playing around in nature. Is this interesting? Let's say, is this anything? Check this out, check this out, check this out. What is this? Look how easy this is to break. Oh no, it's not breaking. It is. Okay. Well, that's probably enough, right? You get a check-in with me, Aaron Lee. Here's my eyes. It's bright out. So, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll keep making things. I think for a while it was like, I was feeling weird about making these, as I often do. I don't know. It's becoming more normalized, you know, making content. Just because everyone's doing it apparently. And so you think, wow, I guess I'll finally make something. See what happens, you know? And you gotta just do it your way. Even though you don't know the way or your way. You figure it out on your own, you know? Because it's weird, because I make content like professionally for people. I'm a professional, you know? That's what I do. So there's always that stigma of like, I don't know, quality, you know, and whatnot. But who cares? What is all that about, you know? What's this perfectionist mindset we're all concerned about? That's why I made the Right With Me's. Well, that's why I made the stories. But then the video content themselves, I was like, oh, I gotta make the videos really good, you know? Hold on. Look at this. This is just lettuce. You know, this is grown in nature. Can I eat this? This is all just salad. Permaculture. Tell me about permaculture, people. Or I'll tell you about permaculture. Permaculture is when nature does the work for you. You know, you just live off the land. Living off the land. Oh, let me tell you this. I gotta show you this back at the hostel though. So I have 3 bags. You know, a backpack, a little rolly suitcase, and the sort of duffel bag that I bought in Morocco. And I don't really want to part with that bag, but I don't want 3 bags. So at first I was thinking, keep the rolly, keep the duffel bag. But now I'm like, oof, I think it's gonna be backpack, duffel bag. No more rolly. Which is a little sad because over the last, you know, year and a half of traveling, I'm saying year and a half, it really hasn't been a year and a half. It's been like a year and 3 months. It's getting close. 1.3 years. I've collected all these stickers and put them on the suitcase, and now it looks really cool, you know? But I would say it has its limitations, the rolly. Especially maybe where I'm thinking I'm going. Like if I'm traveling more rurally, and even in big cities, like the classic rolly makes a lot of noise. You know, there's a lot of cobblestones in the world, cobblestone streets that make rollies pretty bleh. So I think going all backpack and duffel might be an interesting move. We'll see, we'll see. I think that's kind of the way to go though. I am gonna miss, I put everything into the duffel, the clothes, and it all fits and it's great. But now I'm missing, because the suitcase, the rolly, had these little dividers, and I'm thinking if I should keep those or not. Because it was kind of handy to like separate the clothes a little bit, you know? Because now I have to like, if something's in the bottom, I have to dig everything out. But I'll see how much room it takes up in the duffel. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, that's it for now. I think that's enough. Just enjoy the rest of this hike as I walk in silence. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna keep talking. Look at this. Are you seeing this? I just want to go on a hike now. So cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. So cool.